Hi, I'm ABC News Radio Entertainment correspondent David Blaustein, joined by the lead singer of Vertical Horizon, Matt Scannell. Matt, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure, absolutely. Good to be here.
This is a big few weeks for you. Your new album came out last week. How has it been received so far?
You know, we're really excited. It's been really a positive thing so far. You know, when you make a record, you're in the studio, you're in the bubble, you're not really letting people hear it. It's always kind of a strange thing, and then when it finally gets out, that is a bit of a nerve-wracking thing, but so far it's been terrific. We're really excited.
Title of the album is Burning the Days, and this is the first album you've come out with. I know all the publicity things that I've received and reading, it's saying 4 years, but it hasn't it really been 5 years since your last album?
Yeah, 4 or 5. I mean, what, 6, 20?
Yeah, who really
What's
cares?
the difference,
Whatever.
really? It's been a while, really. You can do the math, but it's been a while.
And what took you so long?
The truth is, usually I lie at this point.
Don't tell me. I was going to say, don't tell me the truth. I don't want to know the truth.
Okay, well then I was pulled in by the Blue Angels to do some backup work. I was the 8th member of the team.
Blue Angels, you mean the airplanes?
Yeah,
you fly. You're a pilot.
I'm a pilot. I'm a stunt pilot.
Are you Iceman?
Yeah, I was going to use Iceman, but that name was taken already, which is awkward. No, I've been working on a lot of things. I've been working on becoming a better producer. I've been producing records, writing with people from Nashville a lot. Even though we haven't had Vertical Horizon projects out there, I've been constantly working with music.
And so why was now the right time to come back and do a Vertical Horizon album?
Well, I had started working on a new bunch of songs, and I didn't really know what it was going to be. I have a studio in my home in Los Angeles, and I was just making music for the fun of making music. I think like anything, every job can have a component where you're just going in and punching the clock, and then there's another side of it where you're really enjoying what you're doing. And it's a strange balance, I think, when your hobby, which is what music was originally for me, becomes your vocation. It's a strange balance there. So I just took some time away from some of the work that I was doing with music to make some music that I just wanted to make for myself. And then I started realizing that that collection of songs was really becoming a Vertical Horizon record. So I brought the guys in and, we started working on it.
Your last album, Go, I think was a very awkward situation for you for several reasons. I mean, forget about the fact that the record company had changed and Clive Davis took over, and I know there's a history of Clive Davis and you're not too fond of him, but I think that was probably awkward for you because you had to follow up this album, which was a huge, enormous hit. So now you're 10 years removed from that. Is there a different type of pressure? Is there any pressure?
Well, I think there would always be pressure. I mean, there's pressure from within, if nothing else. We want to make great music. We want to be doing the best that we can possibly do. But I don't really feel a sense of pressure in the same way that I did when we released Go, certainly. I think the most pressure actually throughout all of my career as a musician has come from within. I just want to be really good at what I do. And now, certainly, we have a bunch of fans around the world. We don't want to let them down. So, yeah, there's pressure there, too. But I don't really look at it as pressure. It's not a problem. It's not something that bothers me. It drives me to do better work.
Now, tell me about the title of the album, Burning the Days. What does that mean?
Well, it's actually a book by an author named James Salter. And I originally saw his book and read his book, but the phrase actually became something more for me. It was sort of removed from that title as time wore on. And I kind of look at it as much like the album cover, it's sort of a Rorschach test of how people view things. Burning the Days, to me, can either be attacking the day with vigor and trying to do the most you can within the confines of 24 hours, or you can sort of burn the days away and just let them waste and fall away from you. I think there have been moments of both for me with the creation of this record, and I need to embrace that and sort of, when you're making music, you're connected with this strange thing, this muse that can take you very quickly on your journey, or it can make you kind of wait for it. And I wish I understood the connection a little bit better now, having done this for a long time. But it is a really strange relationship, and although you really feel sometimes you feel like you're actively making things happen, I'm also really aware that there's a connection with something else that I become a channel for it, and at times it just takes a little bit longer to get that.
I think that's great that you said that, because I personally think, not that anybody cares what I personally think, but what I've noticed about you is that you are aware. You're very aware. I think you're aware to the point where I feel like you're a student of self-help gurus. And when I listen to your albums, I feel like your albums and your songs are all sort of self-help, noticing things about me and noticing things about you and saying inspiring things about you and then saying inspiring things about me. And then there's the song Save Me From Myself, which seems to be sort of a dark song. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're very right. It's a very dark song. You know, that song to me is the taking what you were just saying to the nth degree, being so consumed with your issues and your problems and your faults that you kind of just spin around in isolation and you miss the people around you who might need you for something. And that's certainly happened to me. And it's actually it's sad on some levels that it's connecting with people the way it is, because I would hope that people couldn't relate to that song whatsoever. I would wish that I was the only person on the planet that felt that way, but clearly that's not the case. Something
that helped you, certainly on 3 songs, the addition of Neil Peart. Now, how do you wind up teaming up with the drummer from Rush? I mean, none of you are Canadian.
No, none of us are Canadian. It's a long, sort of convoluted story, but I'll distill it down to Neil was buying a car from a friend of mine who owns a BMW dealership in Texas. It's a very strange story. My friend in Texas called me up because he knew me in L.A. He said, you're my contact in L.A. Can you go over to this guy's house and take pictures of of his car that he was trading in? That's really all it was. And I went over to the house. I took pictures of Neil's car. We started hanging out and talking. I was wearing a watch that he liked, that he also had. I was telling him how great I thought the car was because I'm a total car nut. We had mutual interests. And we just became friendly. Now, becoming friendly and actually working together on a record are two obviously very, very different things. Over time, a couple events happened where he would ask me for my advice on something, and I would actually truthfully give it to him as opposed to being just a fanboy yes man saying, oh, that's terrific. And I think he knew that I was trying to bring something to the table creatively. And at some point, he had me over to his house for dinner. He's an amazing cook, by the way. He has this awesome thing on his website called Bubba's Bar and Grill. I know, it's crazy, but it's so cool. I just recommend it to everybody. You should go check it out. neilpeart.net, Bubba's Bar and Grill. And so he had me over to his house, and at one point he just said, we should write a song together. And of course, what Neil calls writing a song is very, very different from what I call writing a song. Because in Rush, he comes to the table with completed lyrics. And then Geddy and Alex write the music and the melodies. Of course, in our band, I generally write the lyrics, the melody, and the music. And in any collaborative situation that I've been in the past, it's been very much two people working on all aspects of the song together.
So what is Keith, just the eye candy?
Yeah, Keith is just a good-looking man.
Right.
No, Keith writes songs too. His output of music is, I'm a voracious writer. I'm always out there putting songs together. So I wind up with 50, 60, 70 songs for a release. But yeah, so Neil brought in a lyric sheet, and I didn't know how I was going to do with that because this was a completed set of lyrics, someone else's words, and I'd never done that before. I'd never sung someone else's words. But I instantly related to them, and of course, having the friendship that we have, it made it easier for me to get into his head, so to speak, as a singer. And then the music came out. I mean, it was instant. It was about 10 or 15 minutes. And I remember Neil asking me, did you have that before, all the music and the melody that you just put down? And I didn't. It just was an instant reaction to reading his words.
All right, we have to go, but before we go, you're going to play a song for us. What song are you going to play for us?
I think I'm going to play the new single, Save Me From Myself.
All right, Matt Scannell from Vertical Horizon. The name of the album is Burning the Days. Check it out. I'm David Blaustein, ABC News, and here's a song.